everybody, welcome back. Today's something pretty cool, and this is for beginners and more importantly for those of you at advanced age or really any age that have issues with your hands and fingers. I get so many comments whenever I show like little hacks and, oh, thank you so much because I can't use my pinky, or I have no feeling in my ring finger, or I was paralyzed, or had an injury, or have arthritis. I'm 80 years old, I'm 75 years old, whatever. So this video would be for you because we're going to look at many open chords we can play in the open position with only one or two fingers. Right? So let's get started. And remember, I'm all about easy guitar, getting beginners to play their favorite songs right away. This is not professional instruction. If you want to be a professional guitarist, you're going to need the whole 10,000 hours thing of mastering your craft, and you're going to have to learn all there is to learn about guitar. As a beginner, or as a hobby or fun guitar player, all you really care about is playing your favorite songs. And in order to do that, we just got to put a bunch of chords together. That's it. Big difference, right? Don't forget that. So let's get going. Let's get into these mini chords. Is that what we're going to call them? Little chords? All right, let's go. All right, so the first chord I think is the most important chord because as a beginner, you learn the C chord, and then you put together either a D and a G with it, or an A minor G, or an F and a G, and you've got access to thousands and thousands of songs that you can learn to play in all genres, right? So it's really important. So we're going to start there. And it's a full 3-finger chord, and we can abbreviate it. So easy. So here we go. Let's take a look at the full C chord, and it's played this way. Now what we're doing here is we're fretting a root here, C, an E, and a C. The 3 notes of a C chord are C, E, and G. We're getting the G in this case from the open G string right here. Okay? So we play all those 5 strings like that. Now, before we move on, I just want to quickly explain that we only need, all chords are 3 notes, no matter what you play. Bar chords, triads, open chords, they're all 3 notes. That's it. The first, the third, and the 5th note of the appropriate scale. So in this case, the C, we need a C, that's the first. We skip the second, which is D, and we need an E, which is the third, and we skip the F, which is the 4th, and we pick up the G. So that's all we need to do here is play a C, E, and a G in order to play that chord. So this is the proper way. Absolutely. But what we could do is start by lifting this finger off. Now once we lift that finger off, all we have to do is there's a little rule that kicks in, and we're only going to play the D, the G, and the B string, and then we can play that open E. Okay? Now this is a C chord because we are playing an E, a C, and an open G. There's your new C. Now if you want something even simpler, let's take this finger off and we just leave the first finger on the C note right here in that first fret, 2nd string. Okay? But this time we're only going to play strings 1, 2, and 3. That's it. There's a C chord. How easy is that? Okay? Now let's move to the G, because remember, if we put C, G, and D together, we are cooking with gravy, right? So there's your C. Now our traditional G is usually played like this, or if you're like me, you play it with your back fingers like that. So in this case, we're going to forego the ring finger, and we're just going to play these 3 strings, 6 and 5 and 4. There's our G, there's our B, and there's our open D. That is a G triad. Now it's a little low, right? It's because there's no nice high strings that are in the open G. Has a bit of everything. That's why everybody loves it. But we're playing with 2 fingers, just the lowest notes. If you want to play a higher G, we can do this. bar these two strings and put your big fat finger right there. And only play the first three strings. There's a higher G triad that we can play with two fingers. So there's the lower one with two fingers. And yes, you can play it with these two fingers if this finger is the problem. Okay? And here is the higher triad with the two fingers. Bar here and play there. What notes, just to refresh, what notes are we playing? Playing a G, a D, and a B. That's it. And only play those three strings. So now we can play a C. We can go up to the G. Let's grab that E minor. Now the E minor, we're not doing any major changes. We just have options how to play it. It's a two-finger chord, naturally. So we could play it with these two fingers, strum all the strings, or we could play it with these two fingers, or to be honest, we could even play it with the back fingers. That's up to you. But that doesn't change. It's just that we have options of which fingers to use, and it is a two-finger chord, right? So now we've got C, we got G, we got E minor, and now let's go to the D. So here's the D. And here's your regular D, and we're going to play four strings, right? The open D, there's your root, the G, the B, and the E string. So we're not going to use our ring finger. We're just going to use these two fingers. We're going to put them right here, and we're going to use the open D, going to strum those four strings. Now that's not a true D major. Don't get me wrong, okay? It's known as a, I'm going to say a D6. I might be wrong. Could be a D sus something, but I think it's called a D6. Now, here's the difference. Here's your full D. Listen carefully. Here's my D6. I mean, it's pretty close, right? Now remember, as a beginner guitar player or as a solo guitar player, most of us, we're never going to play with other people. And if we do, it'll be way down the road. So we're really only playing on our own for the most part. So the reason I tell you this is that the odd time with a chord like this and a chord like the next one I'm going to show you, which is move each finger up one string. Now we have a version of an A. It's actually like an A7. Okay? Now if I played this and someone else was playing the next chord I'm going to show you, which is a one-fingered A major, you're going to hear that there's a bit of a difference. There's your D, right? It's not much of a difference. Here's your A7. Here's your A major. There's a slight difference. So you may kind of sound a little off, right? If you're playing with someone who's playing a full A major and you're only playing an A7. But again, you don't need to because you can play a full A major with one finger. Now what we're doing here is we're replacing the three fingers and the three fretted notes all in the second fret with one finger barred across, and I bar on an angle, like a 45-degree angle. I just find it easier, okay? And we can play all five strings. We don't have to worry about how many strings we're playing. So there's your A, right? So we've got a C, any of those ways. We got a G, or a G. We got a D6. We got an A7. We got an A major. One finger. And we got our E minor. Or. All right? So now we have other ways that we can play these open chords, right? And once again, all chords are only 3 notes. That's it. So don't be fooled by that, thinking you're playing something else or something different. When you are playing that big, beautiful G with all 6 strings, you are only playing G's, B's, and D's. When you are playing this beautiful C chord, you are only playing C's, E's, and G's. So when you decide to play your C this way and only use those 3 strings, you are still playing C, E, and G. You're just playing one of each, not multiple versions of each. Okay. All right, now it's time to test these mini babies out, right? So we're going to play your typical GCD thing. Now here's the way by the book that we would do that. So now let's play it the mini way. Okay, so we're going to start with the 2-finger G, 2 on the D, 1 on the C, back to the G. G, D, 2-finger C, 2-finger G. Let's put the E minor in there. I mean, it's there. You can hear it. It works. So once again, beginners, remember, there are a lot of ways to accomplish playing the chords that you need to play. Okay? You don't have to do it by the book. So if you have any ailments, you have any limitations in your hand, you can still play your basic open chords. And you can still play songs and make music and have all kinds of fun doing it, right? That's what this is all about. We're not aiming to be professionals here. We're aiming to have fun, enjoy this amazing instrument, and fulfill a dream that we've always wanted to do, and that's play guitar. And there's only one way to get better, and that's just play your guitar. All right, if you like what you see, you think I can help you, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. And also, you'll be notified when I go live. I do live lessons every week, and by hitting that subscribe button, you'll get a little thing that says I'm live. Come and join me, ask your questions, and hey, let's have fun playing our guitar. See you later.